Yeah, the bullshit rhetoric has already started with this whole Charlie Kirk controversy. In a matter of what, 24 damn hours. This man is being compared to Martin Luther King Jr. That's one, and it's rich as hell. That's rich, knowing the views and the values that he shared. Damn sure doesn't ally to Martin Luther King Jr., especially his I Have a Dream speech. Especially that. And you know what I find so interesting? A lot of conservatives, they love to quote that. They love to quote that Martin Luther King, his speech, he said he wants his children to grow up where they're not judged for the color of their skin, but for their character. Please! Please. It's the irony of this entire thing. We did really sit and think about it. The fact that that man said, oh yeah, school PPUings and death happening due to gun violence, it's okay because we as Americans, we get to keep our, concealed carry. We have the right to bear arms. He spouted all that, right? And mind you, his wife and his children, they had to witness his own assassination. And for people to sit up here and cry and mope and, oh, there were children there. There were children there. People saw that. Babe, what do y'all think happened when it came to Jackie Kennedy? Are we gonna sit up here and act like we didn't see the literal outfit of her covered in her husband's blood with knowing that he was assassinated? And then Jackie Kennedy literally having to watch someone else be sworn in into the presidency, knowing that her husband just got assassinated. Think y'all want to sit up here and spout, oh, I feel so sorry for this man's wife and children and everything like that. Okay, I can have somewhat of a heart. Okay. It's just the irony of this whole thing. This man spouted so much, racist, disgusting, nasty takes. The man literally said out of his mouth, oh yeah, if his daughter was raped at a young age, at 10 years old, he would force her to keep the child because I guess the child would have a life inside of her. So, forgive me for having a little bit of a BS meter, and it has since reached that peak level where I clearly do not give one F over the fact that that man lost his life. He spoke it into existence. When people don't understand the power of the tongue, they go out saying any damn thing. Just think about all the school pew-pewings that have been happening for decades, right? And knowing the fact that these parents who are mourning their children, first grader, second grader, third grader, kindergarten, the parents from Sandy Hook, the parents from Parkland, so many school pew-pewings, right? Think of what they have to go through in that process. They have to go down to the morgue, identify their child's body. Then some have to pick a casket. Okay, they have to pick out their child's final outfit, right? What's going to be said on their child's tombstone, right? If they want to have flowers, the flower arrangement, where their child will be buried at. The irony of that, of knowing that his wife has to do that now. His wife is going to be a widow. And you know what? As much as I do feel sorry for her that she lost a loved one, it's just, for a fact that I don't think the views that her and her husband probably shared politically are going to change even after this tragedy. Same for the conservatives and Republicans who are so, in their words, heartbroken over this man's death. Those views are still going to be the same. Y'all do it with school shootings. Y'all are going to do it with him. It's like the fact that this man got, whatted in Utah, in a red state. In a red state. I find that so ironic. And yet, minority, black and brown people, we're the criminals. When one of your own unalived him.
So it is disgraceful to compare Charlie Kirk with Martin Luther King, someone who fought for what he believed in. As compared to Martin Luther King, Charlie Kirk was a white supremacist, someone who never believed in the equality of races. His terms and the way he always addresses the blacks showed that he was a racist. And comparing him with the Martin Luther King has raised a serious uh, outrage amongst black Americans. So let us continue watching how the black Americans reacted to this, and we'll make a comment in the end.
Hopefully this is a turning point for America. Like, bro, the right has empathy. They know how to use it. They just act like it's an imaginary friend when there's people in Gaza running towards food. They can look at them dead in the eye and be like, we haven't taken out enough. Dead ass. They can look you in the eye and be like, hey, bro, they voted for this. They chose this. Did he not choose Trump? Did he not choose the violence he's bringing out? Like, bro, the double standards is unmatched. Unmatched, bro. I can't feel empathy for a man who's been spewing hate for the longest. And all y'all turn around and be like, oh, he's a great debater. No, he's not, bro. This man's a gaslighter. Y'all want to show empathy for a man who wanted to watch executions with his kid like it's a Disney movie. I had the audacity to compare him to Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King would stop people from passing an imaginary line and putting him in jail for God knows how long, never being able to return, even though the government's saying to do it. And we're just gonna be like, yeah, that's a shame. He's on the right side of history. This is gonna make everybody Republican. Like, what is he talking about, bro? How is this gonna make people Republican when only a few months ago there was a man with a hit list of 45 Democrats in Minnesota, and Charlie Kirk ain't say a chirp. He ain't even want to say, he even look that way, bro. And the church gets hit, and he was like, transgenders.
What the hell is wrong with you people? There's no way you can make Charlie Kirk compare to Martin Luther King and make a mule with half the face Charlie Kirk and half the face Martin Luther King. Blasphemy.
I'm concerned about all of these Negro preachers who've been, in fact, talking about that this man that was killed was the answer to Christ in the earth. Y'all ain't saying nothing. They having moments of silence in black churches all over the country over a man that was racist and a white supremacist. How dare you compare him to Martin Luther King? The only thing that Charlie Chris and Martin Luther King got in common is both of them was killed by a white man. After that, they got nothing else in common.
Charlie Kirk was unalived for speaking the truth. When I hear people say this, I wonder which of the following Charlie Kirk statements they believe are truths. Like when he called Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. awful and said that he was not a good person, or when Kirk claimed that Jewish organizations are the largest financial contributor to anti-white causes. Or in July, when Kirk said he was done talking about the most notorious offender of our time, Jeffrey Epstein, or when he said that Michelle Obama, Joy Reid, Sheila Jackson Lee, and Ketanji Brown Jackson, all black women with 8 college degrees between the 4 of them from Harvard, Princeton, NYU, Yale, and UVA, when he said that these black women do not have the brain processing power to be taken seriously. He said that the passing of the Civil Rights Acts in the 1960s were a huge mistake. He called transgender identity a cancer from the pits of hell. Juneteenth, a holiday marking the enforced end of legal chattel slavery in the United States, was called by Kirk an anti-American racial complaining day for blacks. Kirk denied the statistic that 1 in 5 women would be in her lifetime because they are lying about being, according to him. He has platformed the Great Replacement Theory, which is a cornerstone of white nationalism. He shares the Christian nationalist belief that the United States is a Christian nation and should be made to stay that way. Like when he supported leveraging Bible verse Leviticus 20:13 into law, which calls for the execution of queer people, saying this verse is God's perfect law when it comes to sexual matters. A 14-year-old girl asked for Kirk's advice on going to college, and he said that her first priority really should be to get married. Charlie Kirk was a husband, and my thoughts and prayers are with his wife and his children. I can only imagine the pain that they are going through. Charlie Kirk said he can't stand empathy, and he thinks empathy is a new age term that does a lot of damage. So the empathy that I feel for his family is likely more than any empathy he would have felt for mine. And I can only imagine the pain of Palestinian people who have been forced to see their families shot, blown up, and starved. Though Charlie Kirk said that he didn't believe that Palestine existed and he supported Israel's ongoing in Gaza. Kirk claimed that black people were more lawful in the 1940s, with no mention of the lynching of the Great Migration and Jim Crow eras. Some of the most formative moments of political violence in our nation's history. Now, do not misunderstand me. I do not bring up Charlie Kirk's statements to justify his, and I do not believe that people should be made to fear sharing their thoughts and opinions for fear of murder. I have lived and worked on college campuses for the last 15 years of my life. You will never hear me advocate for a school by demanding that people speak kindly of Charlie Kirk and that they wait to share their criticisms until more time has passed. We run the risk of trying to rewrite history in real time by creating a rhetoric that his own rhetoric was not violent. It was. As I stated in the beginning, this post is made to question the notion that Charlie Kirk was simply for speaking the truth. So I ask again, which of these so-called truths that Charlie Kirk has spoken do you feel are true? Which were you maybe unfamiliar with, and which do you reject? Sources for each claim I've made in this video are available on my page at the place where those sorts of things go.
The history of Martin Luther King was one that was bound with pain, one that was never smooth as someone can think of, because this was somebody who believed in true liberation of the black community, believed that there should be fairness amongst races and no one should be treated or mistreated because of skin color and origin or even social status. So although they faced same death situations, that is shooting, Charlie Kirk can never be compared with Martin Luther King because Charlie Kirk worked for the oppressors. Charlie Kirk was an oppressor, bearing the fact that he never believed in black potentiality. Potentiality, I mean, he never saw anything good from the black community. His addresses were always uh, bound with a lot of racism and never thought that blacks could be given a space in the society, a space that allows them even to achieve rightful social amenities that the government should give to its citizens equally. He thought that the society, the American society, is one that will rise only if the whites make blacks the slaves. So comparing him with Martin Luther King is a disgrace to black community. Is like showing disrespect to the black community, showing that, or rather approving that slavery and racism is something that is credited. Yet we saw how people were killed during a slave period. We saw the life situations that people faced during these periods. It wasn't a walk in the park, and several people lost their lives. So this is not a happiness to the black society who faced such situations. And honoring slavery and racism currently is a thing of the past. And we should tell the white supremacists that it is time to allow everyone to thrive regardless of his race. So there's no point that Charlie Kirk would match the efforts that Martin Luther King placed to transform the society of America to where it is now, where there's a lot of freedom, a lot of freedom. So hit our comment section and tell us what you feel about this. Also, do not forget to like and share this video. Thank you and may God bless you.